basis as part of a checkup because you want to find cancer early. And people were simply either afraid of going into the hospital because of COVID, and Dr. Jim Keeney has said that over and over again, saying people were having strokes and heart attacks who wouldn't had they come in with just the symptoms early on. Nope, I'm not going to get COVID. And so by the time the ambulance shows up when they go into a massive stroke or heart attack, they end up coming to the hospital either completely dead or close to completely dead. And that's what COVID has done. Now, it has done it on a couple of levels. One, people simply not there. Oh, I'm not going in no matter what my symptoms are, and feeling heart pain and just, babbling because they've had clearly was a minor stroke. And the other part isn't anybody's fault. The other part is that those elective procedures, those screening procedures, you couldn't get. You couldn't get. You make an appointment to have, for example, a colonoscopy, which every 10 years or 5 years, depending on where you are in the risk factor and your age, you go in, it's just part of a physical every 10 years. You can't get them. No, we're backed up so much in terms of the COVID wards and our first responders, which we don't have enough of, that we're going to put that off. Well, let me tell you, putting it off in a lot of cases means the difference between life and death. The difference between advanced cancer treatment and just removing a polyp. And that is the problem. Also, and that's huge. I mean, the doctors are saying we're just on a verge of this because one of the things about cancer, some are act within weeks. Pancreatic cancer is an insanely fast-acting cancer, and other cancers act more slowly, so we're going to see the numbers increase over and over again. And it's really troubling. And now the backup is still going on. I mean, you had people that are number 2,000 in line at major facilities. And so it will catch up. But the problem is we're going to look at, again, we don't know what the fallout of this pandemic is. It will be years before we figure out all the fallout. We're talking about economically, we have some idea. Certainly the way we work, the way we live, we have some idea. The way we go out and eat, we have some idea, depending on the masking and the vaccine, showing the vaccine requirements, and it just changes everything. I mean, I'm not talking about sort of the fights that are going on now on airlines and restaurants, etc., where you have a few people screaming about masking. Those are a few thousand. We're talking about all of us going to dinner. And it's just a different way of doing it. All of us working at home, it's just a different way of doing it. And so you have that, social interactions that are different. It's the new normal. And the one that's probably the scariest of all, at least in my opinion, is the fact that normal everyday screenings, particularly for cancer, are in fact had dropped so precipitously. And the numbers, I mean, we're looking at crazy numbers. One of the major hospitals, I think Kansas, is reporting a 93% drop in colonoscopies. I mean, a fraction of the colonoscopies that happened before. And the reason I bring up colonoscopy is that's one of the tests that's so clear that you catch a polyp early, you're done. You don't have to worry about cancer. So that's one of the fallouts. So get on that list. Do it as quickly as possible. Wildfire safety plans. Jen and I have talked a lot about that with their parents and insurance, etc. But there's a case with the school board in San Francisco. Jen, what's going on with that?
Well, it looks like 3 of the members of the San Francisco School District are out. They've lost because of their priorities during the pandemic. Early results show more than 70% of parents approved recalling the president and 2 others because the members focused on renaming schools last year instead of reopening them. Airbnb beat Wall Street's estimates on earnings and revenue in its fourth quarter. The company is projecting its biggest quarter since before the pandemic. And this week marks 1 year since NASA's Perseverance rover landed on Mars. The rover is on a 2-year mission to explore the Dry River Delta and drill into rocks that could have some evidence in them that life once existed on Mars. We've got your drive coming up with Jeff Baugh in El Sereno in just a moment.
If you have missing teeth, loose, decayed teeth, gums are swollen from infection, maybe you've had it for years, probably, decades maybe, you can really do something about it, because maybe you've rationalized it, you look in the mirror, you really don't see it, you cover your mouth when you speak, people really don't notice, we do. And then eating the food you used to eat, that has become impossible. So I'm going to suggest a visit to Dr. Cunning and the dental clinic for the new permanent teeth in a day procedure. And coming up to 26 in Montclair, there's a free outdoor seminar where you'll meet the patients and talk to the doctors and learn about this procedure. There's limited seating, so please call to reserve your seat, and you'll find out how your life could literally change after just a few hours in a dentist chair. It's done while you sleep. You also get a free exam, x-rays, and CT scan. They're always available at $1,500 value. No money down payment plans. Restrictions apply. Call 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE.
From the HMS Capital Weather Center, mostly sunny and windy today with highs from the low to mid-60s. This report is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. Let's head back to El Sereno.
You betcha. Thanks, Ed. Yes, indeed, if you were listening last time around, I mentioned all the smoke. Now, it's near Collins Avenue and Huntington Drive in El Sereno. And hats off to LA City Fire, as always. They were right on the job here. But the address they're giving us is 3711 North El Sereno Avenue, in case you live in the neighborhood and left for work already. It's a one-story residential fire, and it looks close to knockdown, so not to worry. I was concerned about a little frost burning there, but that's not the case. Now, Mid-City LA, we got a bad traffic problem. East End and Western, 2 left lanes are still blocked. We're just coming back up on them now, back up to Crenshaw. If this will make you late, and it probably will, use Adams or Washington towards downtown Los Angeles. Jeff Ball, KFI in the sky.
Ciao from Whole Foods Market. Save on your next Italian night and get 25% off Rayo's pasta sauces and soups through March 1st. Plus, Prime members save an extra 10%. See more on the Whole Foods Market app.
This report is sponsored by Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. Show your baby's teeth some love by scheduling a dental visit by their first birthday or when their first tooth comes in. Get more tips for healthy smiles at ChooseHealthLA.com. Again, that's ChooseHealthLA.com.
As parents, we've done everything we can to keep our kids safe, happy, and healthy during this pandemic. From finding the best face masks to making sure their hands are clean. And now we have the best tool to help keep them even safer. The most important thing we can do is vaccinate our kids to protect them against COVID-19. Vaccines have been proven safe and effective for children 5 and up. Talk to your child's doctor or visit myturn.ca.gov to find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health. Ralph's is proud to be a cornerstone of this great community, providing fresh, nutritious meals all around Southern California. But none of this would be possible without our friendly associates who are always there to meet the needs of our customers when they need it most. At Ralph's, we're a family, and we couldn't do it without the dedication, commitment, and determination of our associates to make this world a better place one day at a time. We are Ralph Strong.
This is Leland Smith from Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, and AC, and I'm pleased to announce that we were recently named a top workplace by the OC Register for the 5th consecutive year, and a top workplace in the United States for the 2nd year in a row. You might be thinking, so what? Aren't these just meaningless awards that are given to any company who submits an application? No way. These awards are actually a big deal, meticulously researched and judged, and are only awarded to a few select companies who truly excel at treating employees well. We consistently win because we give our employees plenty of training, we pay them well, and we give them the best benefits in the industry, all with a culture of kindness and respect. So next time you open your door to a friendly Service Champions technician, you'll know why they're smiling, because they love their job. You can find us online at ServiceChampions.com.
Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, AC, and good heat for free.
California's really just down to the 2 counties. The virus only exists here, really? Just in LA County, huh? We are suffering in this dystopia. I'm praying to God he does something. You must have hit your head. And send a message to these supervisors and Barbara Ferrer. Stop it. John and Ken. Weekdays at 2. Get out of our lives. On KFI. KFI.
Am 640. Bill Handel here on a Wednesday morning, February 16th. And another lawsuit has been hit in the Alec Baldwin film Rust. This is the family of the cinematographer who was shot and killed by Alec Baldwin when that gun went off. And he is being now sued individually, saying that he didn't pay attention or didn't attend a safety course that they give. I mean, there's a lot of allegations flying around. We have talked about, and Jen and I have brought this up over and over again, about wildfires and insurance coverage and how it has become a mess here in California, particularly. What the cost of insurance is astronomical, and insurance companies in many cases just bailing out, saying, no, you know what, we're not even going to cover you for fire if you're in a high fire zone. And there's been a lot of controversy. If the insurance companies say no and you can't get coverage, you can get coverage through a state program called the FAIR Plan, but all it does is cover fire through a wildfire, and nothing else is covered, and you pay a fortune for it. You still have to have home insurance, and it almost prices people out of their homes. I mean, it gets pretty pricey. Even in non-fire zones, I've seen my home insurance go up 2.5 times. And I'm in the same place, and I'm not in a fire zone. And I talked to Jennifer. Her parents are in a fire zone.
And there's doubled. They first couldn't get it, had to get the relief insurance, I forget.
The FAIR Plan.
FAIR Plan, and then it's still doubled.
I mean, it's crazy. So what has ended up happening is that it has become virtually an insurmountable problem. It's become so egregious. And we, of course, are the poster child of all that here in California, because we normally are, but this is where the wildfires take place for the most part, certainly over the last few years. And I mean, we're talking about, you remember when if a few homes went up, it was front page, end of the world headlines, and then a few hundred homes, and that was sort of okay. The Camp Fire destroyed 12,000 homes. I mean, we are talking astronomical numbers, and every one of those homes had fire insurance. And I can't wait to see, well, they're settling up, but it's years later, and the insurance companies are still settling. So we've had that problem over and over again, and it's all regulated by the insurance commissioner. So the insurance commissioner can say you must sell insurance. If you're in California, you have to cover this particular form of liability, and you can only charge X number of dollars. It's totally regulated. The only thing an insurance company can do is just get out of California. And there's no longer any regulations because it's not here. So what's new? Because I'm just doing this story over and over again. Well, here is something that is new. The insurance companies, and they're looking at this very carefully, and it's not just the insurance companies. They're part of a group of utility folks, fire experts, fire departments, looking at giving an incentive for people to harden their homes, much like you can harden your home for an earthquake. You can do things that make your home more earthquake resistant, especially if you have an older house. I did that. Previously to building the Persian Palace, I had a home that was in sort of the Hancock Park area, and it was a duplex. It was built in 1927. I mean, what I had to do is I had to build walls underneath the building itself. I had to put up what's called cripple walls, and that is reinforcing where the foundation and the house meets. And I had to do a lot of stuff, reinforcing beams in the roof. And so that wasn't mandated, but that was, did I get a break for doing that from the insurance companies? Actually not. Although today the philosophy may be very different, assuming you have earthquake insurance. Well, the same concept is now going for fire damage. And that is, if you harden your house, if you do things like Dean Sharp has talked a lot about this, you have 5 or 6, or in many cases a 20-foot clearance between your house and anything that is combustible. So if you're talking about trees, you're talking about brush, you simply clear it off. Double pane windows, for example, help enormously. Although, I don't know today. Well, I guess there are homes with single pane windows still. And air conditioning and heat goes through them like a sieve. And the cost of power is astronomical. But assuming nothing stops you from having single pane windows, what if you were able to cut down on your home insurance 20% by having double pane windows? much like good driver discounts, which gives you an incentive to be a good driver. Or you bundle your insurance, which as far as the insurance companies go, it gives you an incentive and you're going to buy more insurance because you save money. Well, this has to do with safety and a lot of it. And so there are a whole series of things that can be done, and they're just now looking at it. And this is the first time that they're saying to people, you know what? We're going to give you a discount if you do things that will help us in terms of coverage. And there's also a system that has been used that is being really criticized, and it's known as a catastrophic rating. This is where your insurance is based on previous losses. And what they want to do is change it around because what the insurance company wants to do is we want to estimate future risks and these models. And they're not doing it. What they're doing is looking at previous losses, and that's a model that no longer works. So catastrophic rating is something that is being looked at. And also, according to a new law that's been introduced, was introduced a couple of years ago, originally it tried to force insurance companies to return to wildfire-prone areas. And this law would have said, if you insure here in California, you must insure fire-prone areas. And then the modeling occurs. And they're looking at future modeling because do you really look at previous wildfires as a model for what's going to happen in the future? You can look at it, but you really don't know because you don't know what mitigating factors are going to be about. You don't know how much the temperatures are actually going to go up. You don't know how long the drought is. We know the drought is going to get worse. How much worse? We don't know. So all we can do is model. And this is not only just individual homes either. We're talking about entire communities, for example, that create fire breaks around the communities instead of dense brush and bushes that can burn up. I mean, bushes are neat, but they burn, especially if they're dry. And the other thing that happens when you have when you have new codes that have been instituted, and the last couple of years the codes have been rigorous. And in many cases, according to builders, punitive, prohibitively expensive. Well, if people build to those codes, your home is far more likely to survive. Even they did a study on the Camp Fire, which destroyed 12,000 homes, and people newer homes just do it. And it makes a lot of sense. Newer homes that are built to earthquake standards just survive. If you look at a wooden house that's built, and all of our houses are built out of wood. Occasionally you'll see brick properties 100 years old or concrete, and those have to be reinforced, and you have to have steel drilled in. You've seen those, and all of the support. Well, if you look at homes that were built in the 70s, after the 70s, they're much more earthquake resistant. If you look at homes that were built in the last 5 years, they are really earthquake resistant. And I can give you all kinds of examples. For example, the bolt down onto the foundations. Now those bolts look like you're bolting down a 5-story, a 10-story building, and you have to put up plywood where before you didn't have to. So the insurance companies are, and I think it's going to work because all the experts are saying that if you do your job to mitigate, you're going to just save a pile of money. The George Floyd, the trial going on with the cops, the 3 cops that were involved, not Chauvin, what is going on? Testimony has just started, and I'm going to go through some of the testimony, and it is very revealing. That's coming up. Let's check in with Jennifer. What's going on with you?
A judge has dismissed the lawsuit by a group of LA firefighters over a city requirement that employees be vaccinated against COVID-19. Lawyers for the city say it's been well settled under the U.S. Constitution that compulsory vaccination is lawful. A UC San Diego study shows the pandemic has led to cancer being spotted later.
The study found that compared to 2019, in 2020, there was a near 12.5% drop in stage 1 breast cancer diagnoses year to year, and around a 4% increase in stage 4 diagnoses. Researchers say this is because of a drop in ordinary health care, including routine medical exams. The study found results were similar in colon cancer diagnoses. Researchers say between the 2 years, the number of cancer diagnoses were roughly similar. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
2 bills in the state are targeting COVID-19 disinformation.
Senator Richard Pan has proposed legislation that would require online platforms like Facebook to publicly disclose how their algorithms work and how they promote user content. Assemblyman Evan Lowe's bill would label doctors promoting of misinformation or disinformation about COVID to the public as unprofessional conduct that could be disciplined. Supporters of the bills say social media has given a tiny minority of doctors a big voice in dissuading people from getting vaccinated. Deborah Mark, KFI News.
People who work for Meta have been given a new nickname. CEO Mark Zuckerberg has announced that employees will be known as MetaMates. He introduced the term as part of his plans to change the culture of the company formerly known as Facebook. And producer J.J. Abrams has announced that another Star Trek movie is in the works. He says the original cast, including Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, will return for a 4th installment of the sci-fi franchise. Film scheduled to start shooting later this year. No word yet on when it will actually come out. We'll take a look at your drive in just a moment.
The Clippers' Marcus Morris Sr. logged 23 points. Nicholas Batum scored 18, while LA's defense forced the Phoenix Suns into 17 turnovers. The Suns, though, got the final say with a late-game surge to defeat the Clips 103-98. The Lakers are in play for the first time since Saturday. They get the Utah Jazz at Crypto.com Arena at 7, and it's official. The baseball lockout has delayed the start of spring training. Yesterday was supposed to be report date for pitchers and catchers to several big league camps, but they're not there. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. Matter of fact, usually it is. It's complicated stuff. The plans are many and they change every year. And so whether you are on Medicare or about to apply, let me suggest talking to the folks at AGA Medicare Options. They're hosting a free dinner and an educational Medicare seminar. No enrollments or sales can be had there. You leave your checkbook at home. Just come with an appetite. And AGA's team of experienced agents, and it takes experience to do this, will advise you step by step on a plan that fits you, your situation, your budget, help you finding plans that are accepted by your physicians, cover your medications at the lowest out-of-pocket cost. So it's a free dinner, it's a free seminar near you. Dial pound 250 on the cell and say the keyword My Medicare. Pound 250 on the cell, say My Medicare, or visit AGAMedicareOptions.com, AGAMedicareOptions.com.
Your SoCal weather from KFI, mostly sunny and warmer today. We'll have highs in the low to mid-60s. We do have a wind advisory in effect for parts of the IE until 4 tomorrow afternoon. That's when we could have highs back in the low 70s. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. We've got better news for your ride on the 101.
Well, it's a great way to start traffic report, that's for sure. Good morning. Yes, indeed, if you just joined us, North 101 News at Santa Monica Boulevard. This was quite a problem. Blocking lanes there for a while. It's all gone. We just had a look at it a little while ago. So if you're back at the East LA interchange, it's kind of the normal slowing through the 4 level. But north of that, you'll be okay. Problems continue, though, for the Santa Monica Freeway. This is the eastbound 10, right around Western, getting close to downtown Los Angeles. The 2 left lanes blocked for a long time. Back up Crenshaw, Adams, Washington, all that is pretty good. San Fernando Valley is where we're heading now, to the west San Fernando Valley first. 170 at Riverside, problems over to the shoulder, don't you worry about it. And a problem eastbound 101 in between Tampa and Reseda. It cleared to the shoulder, but boy, the backup through Topanga Canyon, Ventura Boulevard's your pick, kind of busy at the lights. Jeff KFI in the sky.
This is your moment. The moment to care for your aging parent or grandparent. To be there to help them when they truly need it. To lend a helping hand, or just a hand to hold. If you have an ailing parent or grandparent, paid family leave can provide you with up to 8 weeks of partial wage replacement to give you the time you need to give them the attention they need. This is your moment. Take it. To learn more, visit CaliforniaPaidFamilyLeave.com. Moments matter.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. When my clients need solar, I call Sunlux. The best design, service, and equipment, and hands down the best warranty in the industry. Other companies sound confident, but Sunlux gives you real guarantees. If your solar ever fails to produce what it was designed to, Sunlux will pay the difference in your electric bill. That is the Sunlux difference, and it's why I say there are only two kinds of solar companies in Southern California, Sunlux and everyone else. Start saving money today at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
Want to pay off your 30-year mortgage in half the time? Network Capital is offering a low 15-year fixed rate at 2.75% with a 2.94 APR. Take advantage of a lower rate with half the payments. If you're looking to lower your interest rate, pay your home off sooner, or pull out some cash, don't miss this opportunity. You'll never have to worry about refinancing again with rates this low. Our 15-year fixed rate is 2.75% with a 2.94 APR. It's not often to get such an amazing second chance to refinance and forget it. That's a 15-year fixed at 2.75% with a 2.94 APR. Network Capital has experts standing by right now to help. Call 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1-HIT. As in home run. Call now and save big on your refi. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1448. NMLS ID 11712. Not licensed in all states. Visit NMLS.org. Licensed by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Into the financing. Number 603-77. An equal opportunity lender. Rates subject to change and may not be available at rate lock. Discount points may apply. Subject to credit approval. Call 800-500-1448 for additional cost information.
Hey, it's your buddy Conway here. Okay, the big game is over, and now it's time to get back to our tiny little lives, right? Maybe you lost some money over the weekend betting on the big game, right? But now you gotta look for money everywhere. On the couch and when you buy gas. Yes. Get Upside is a great app. Gotta use the promo code Conway to get the really big bucks. And every time you use it, you get paid. You download the app, get Upside, use the promo code Conway, then slide into a participating gas station, and the very first time you use it, they're going to pay you up to 25 cents a gallon or more. So it's a free app, easy to use, and it'll make you sort of forget about that bet you lost on the big game. I like it because it's very easy to use, and you can pump gas anyway. I also have one of those fancy electric cars like George Jetson, right? Go outside, come up to a camera. And I'll see you at the next big game.
It is a Wednesday morning, February 16th, logging on the scene as usual. First of all, the Rams are holding a victory parade and race starting at 11 o'clock this morning. It's downtown, and you get to celebrate the Super Bowl win. Also, some pretty good news on the Russia front. The president now is warning that an invasion is distinctly possible. That's the language he's using. As opposed to imminent. And at 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a segment on the politics of it. How Biden is a trial is going on right now that's not as